Thank you guys so much for joining us. We are back with the recap of CSN's cross-country season. Lots of great things happened over this season. I know you guys enjoyed it so much. Before we get started, I want to make sure I get the audience to introduce you guys. Tell me first your name and where you're from.
My name is Nathan Nations, and I'm originally from Minnesota, but I moved to Vegas 4 years ago. So.
Awesome.
My name is Dion. I'm from Vegas, but born in Guam.
Wow.
My name's Noah. I'm also from Vegas. I'm from the wonderful city of Paradise, not too far from the studio.
That's pretty awesome. All right. Well, CSN doing big things as always. I've been following you guys for quite some time. You guys had a great season. I'll start with you. How did the season go for you, and what do you want to talk about?
For cross country, season went pretty good. I had high expectations coming in and didn't meet some of the goals I wanted to for cross, but with the team, everything was really good. And then for track, I was met all my goals. I wanted to run sub 15:20 and achieve that and get some school records. So yeah.
Did you get some school records?
Yes.
That's awesome. I remember you came here last time before the season started. You guys had very high expectations. I was very excited. It seems like you met a lot of those goals, so that's pretty awesome. This is your last season here at CSN. Where do you head after this?
So I'm going to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Prescott, Arizona.
That's awesome. Are you going to be running there? Or?
Yes, I'll be doing cross country and distance track.
That's pretty freaking awesome. What are you majoring in again?
Aviation.
Aviation. Was that your plan coming into CSN to kind of transition to an aviation school?
Yes. I came here because they had the aviation program with CSN, and then my hope was to transfer to a Part 141 aviation school afterwards. So
mission accomplished. That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
I'll transfer to you. How was your season?
My season here at CSN was pretty cool. Very emotional since it was my last season here with the guys, and but I was able to do sub 27 in cross country. Eventually, I got injured, so I wasn't, consistent with my running, but, I was able to pull through for nationals. 27, so which is not bad, but, I was trying to bring it up to track. Track, very ups and downs, something I'll learn and get better off and improve at my next school.
That's pretty good. What school are you going to?
I'm going to Clayton State University at Mora, Georgia.
Nice. Major?
Associates.
That's awesome. I feel like JUCO prepares athletes very much so, especially now more so than in previous years, to get you ready for the next step. And it looks like you said you had your ups and downs, but I think this has helped you grow and it's going to help you push forward to the next adventure. I would say.
Yeah.
All right. How about yourself?
So my name's Noah. I'll be headed to Florida Atlantic University in the wonderful city of Boca Raton in Florida.
Yes, sir. That's crazy.
Yep.
Congratulations. What are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in public safety administration.
That's awesome. And how did the season go for you?
Good. I was very happy what I could do, my growth, but I was also very proud of the boys and how we came together as a squad and were able to execute all of our meets. We were always able to place a pretty high team score. So like us 7th place, like the top 7 would place. We would always place at pretty high or like the better end of the table. And I was very, very proud of everyone able to do that. We were able to snag our first bit of silverware during, what was it, regionals?
Yes.
Yeah, during region. We got second in the region, but
Nice.
we never had, or like our program never had any sort of silverware, like major silverware. So that was pretty cool to be the first ones to do that. So, I'm very proud of the boys.
You guys have stepped it up. I think CSN has gotten better incrementally every year.
Yeah, for sure.
Coach Asadillo, it looks like you guys are, sky's the limit, continuing to grow. I feel like you guys coming into this season, there was a lot of camaraderie, a lot of new faces for the men's team. You guys were, stoked coming in as a team. You guys really wanted to execute. Seemed like you did that. How does it feel? I know you mentioned it yourself that, it sucks that it's going to be the last year that you're going to be performing. How does it feel that you're going to be leaving these guys? And even though I know it's bittersweet going into a new environment, but definitely a sour taste seeing that you're going to be leaving these guys after 2 years.
Exactly. These 2 years, I'll definitely relive again. Something like, one of the two of my best years of my life. And eventually, you got to move on. But, having these moments here, being able to create family bond is something that CSN definitely brings. And not everyone's going to think that, but man, you come out of here, you have people to call every day. You have a coach basically like a father figure. So
Yeah.
having something like that in your life is definitely really good.
That's awesome. And I wanted to ask you, feeling as if though, you talked about the father figure and all of that
Yeah.
that goes with having a coach like this. Coming into this, was your expectations high as far as the camaraderie you have with your teammates, as well as the expectations for you on the track?
I'd say so for sure. Like coming in, being from Vegas, a lot of people from that go to CSN are from Vegas. So like I knew of Dion, I knew of Noah, and a lot of the guys on the team going in, which really helped. And I started seeing coach around at meets and stuff. So trying to build that bond going in, for sure.
That's awesome. And how was the recruiting process for you while running track and getting these offers from other schools to go and compete for them following your time at CSN? Were you able to navigate very well, practicing and running, as well as meeting with these other schools, and did coach help you with that process along the way?
For like being recruited with coach, it was like to go to CSN.
Oh no, post CSN.
Okay. So like for post CSN, I basically had a list of like 10 schools. I was like, coach, these I want these schools. And so coach would send out emails, tell them how I was doing in my races. And Embry-Riddle was probably my top choice. And they reached out back, and they were pretty interested in me. So I got to go there now.
Yeah, coach told me before you even got accepted that you were very interested in going there, and he was very pleased with the opportunity that you got, and it worked out. You get to go, so that's pretty awesome. Something that CSN offers their athletes.
Yeah, because I talked to the coach at, I think it was the Highlander Invitational we went to in California. So I talked to the Embry-Riddle coach there for the first time, and it was like a little iffy because I wasn't racing as like how I wanted, but then I started running good in track, and then he was like, "Oh, okay. You're about where we want our freshmen to be." So
that's awesome. And do you feel that coach pushed you when he saw that you wanted to do something of that magnitude? Do you see your I would say practices intensify, or his expectations for you to intensify as you prepare for that next step?
I feel like in a way, yes, but I know like coming like in high school, I was really like pressured myself, like, oh, I want to go to the top school that I want to, but I feel like this time around it wasn't as stressful because like for me, like I just finished my freshman year and I didn't really expect it because my plan was to stay my 2 years at CSN, so it was kind of a little different than like a lot of people, but I'd say it definitely like changed the way I looked at things with it. Yeah.
That's awesome. You are going to FAU, which is entirely different part of the country. How was that transition for you? Were you expecting it, or something that you wanted going into this school, or tell me about it?
No, I wasn't expecting it at all. It was funny. The first time coach brought it up about FAU, like being interested in me, I was actually at his house doing some sort of paperwork for something. And he was sitting on his phone on his like recliner chair. And he goes, "Oh, shoot. I just got an email from FAU and the coach is interested in you." And I was like, "Oh, really? I'll take a look at it." And then they had a major that I liked. And so I was like, okay, I'd love to, explore this. And then I found out where it was, and I was like, oh yeah, that's where I want to be.
That's awesome. Coach does have those connections in Florida. He's definitely got it for you. He's really, very surprising. So how many connections he has, just not in Florida, but just
everywhere.
Everywhere. It's mind-boggling, especially for myself who covers sports with different teams and different professional athletes. It's very hard to find a coach who's that multifaceted, who's able to have those different reaches for you in case you wanted to do it. Did he have it? And I'll ask all three of you guys. Did he approach you guys yourselves about the opportunity to go outside to other ventures post CSN, or was it you that had to come to him with that interest, even maybe prior to the start of your first season at CSN?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I feel like if the quality's there, he'd be like, hey, I think you could go here, you could go here, you could go there. But I feel like it's also on you to tell him where you want to be, because at the end of the day, you have to dictate your own journey. It's not like high school where your coach is going to be like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. You got to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah. The thing with Coach Brian, he has all these connections, and it's crazy how he can make stuff happen. If you have the times, you're doing the right things, he can make stuff happen for you.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. Self?
I'd say for sure, like he would definitely help with the. Oh my! I just lost my train of thought.
He
Okay.
helps the transfer part
Yeah,
of it
for
pretty
sure.
seamlessly.
Makes it really easy. Because he's been through it too.
Because it's like the way he emails, carries a little more weight than you reaching out, because a college coach gets like thousands of emails
Exactly.
from, individual kids. But I feel like having a coach reach out, another, collegiate program, carries a little more weight in getting you, an email back or a Zoom meeting or something like that.
Yeah, like for me, like coming in, like the goal, like when I talked to coach coming in, when I was getting recruited, was like the plan is you're gonna come here for your 2 years, and then you're gonna transfer to another school. So
Yeah.
That's awesome, and you did it in 1 year.
Yeah.
Just got out of it. That's awesome. It's always interesting because myself, I didn't do much athletes collegiately, but it's always interesting to see that transition for professional athletes from college to the pros, and maybe even from one college to another to just get a better opportunity. It's pretty dope to see that you have a coach that has those opportunities lined up for you and is willing to put in the work for you, with you, to get you where you need to go.
Mhm.
Appreciate you guys for coming. And your time at CSN was short but sweet. You guys got a lot accomplished. Appreciate you guys so much for joining us and telling the viewers about your journey. When we get back, we'll have another set of athletes here to discuss all things CSN next. We are back at CSN's recap of the cross-country season. Definitely had fun talking to 3 athletes who are going to lead the program. We had a lot of fun. Now we're talking to 3 athletes who are going to stay on but had a year under the belt at CSN. Lots of excitement being collegiate athletes. And let's start it off. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Dominic Sau. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I went to Desert Oasis High School, and I joined CSN last year, and I'll be returning for 1 more year.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice to meet you. Next up.
My name is Gerardo Osorio, but I go by Jerry. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I graduated from El Dorado High School, and I joined CSN last semester.
Awesome.
My name is Jackson Graham. I graduated from Coronado. I'm probably only going to be here for 1 more semester. I've had a lot of weird injury issues, so I'm just able to use 1 more semester of eligibility.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, you guys are here. 1 year under your belt at CSN. Lots and lots of memories, I'm sure. We'll start with you, Dom. How did the season go for you?
Season went, I guess cross country, it went really good.
Yeah.
Coming off of high school, I had dreams running college. I got a couple of recruitment offers from other schools, but I decided to stay home, CSN, stay with my parents, and it was like the perfect decision. I've had a great time with these guys. The first year, it was a lot of relationship building. I've never reached a team this deep ever. So coming back for a second year is extremely exciting for me. And overall, it was amazing. Like
That's awesome.
the running was awesome, especially. But
Let's talk about that transition. You from high school to college.
yeah,
How has that transition been? Do you feel the difference in terms of preparation for work and as far as, even classes go?
right. Yeah. So, I mean, from high school to college, definitely, in high school, you're pinned down to a schedule. You do the same thing as everyone. And now in college, you're a little more independent now. You choose what you want to do. I mean, I guess how successful you want to be in what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's one big thing. You show up, do your stuff, and I've really enjoyed it. The schedule at CSN, and honestly, the transfer over from high school has been really smooth, and I enjoy it more.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's the great thing about JUCO is that transition isn't as crazy, especially
Right.
when you're going from high school to a huge 4-year program. And it doesn't make sense. It's more cost effective to make
Right.
that jump. And more people are starting to realize that 20 years ago, that wasn't the case. Now you're seeing more and more,
oh yeah.
especially not only with academics, but with athletics as well.
Hmm.
Starting to pay more attention because that transition is very important.
Right.
All right, let's start with you, Jerry. How was it?
With the experience for
Yeah.
college, I mean,
Well, let's start with how your season went.
oh, my season went amazing. Like I couldn't have asked for a better season. I outdid my goals actually. Like, yeah. Like I wasn't expecting to qualify the nationals at all, or like at least reach the qualifying mark. So like being able to have a really good season with these guys, and like I've never been in a team where I felt like so included.
Yeah.
Like in high school, I feel like I wasn't really able to reach my true potential as well because our coach, he gives us really good training. he gives us structured training. And in high school, I didn't really have any of that. So I felt like I never really fulfilled my true potential, if that makes sense.
Well, let's talk about that because you said that you overwhelmingly met your expectations and crushed it. Well, what do you think the reason for that is? You kind of touched on it a little bit with the way the coaching went. Do you attribute anything else to your success?
I think it's a mix of like everything, honestly.
Yeah.
It's for sure the coaching. It's a mentality thing too. I feel like a lot of people, they have like a limit in their brain, and they don't really want to like push themselves. So I feel like everything just came together really well. And I'm blessed, honestly, to have achieved what I did.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about that transition as well from high school to college. How was that for you? Not even just with athletics, but with academics as well.
I mean, I feel like I'm a lot more locked in now than college because like there's scholarships and stuff, and you want to be able to maintain them. And to be on the team, you have to have like a good GPA, obviously, to compete. And so I feel like I'm a lot more like locked in,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. For me personally, I know it's a few hundred years ago, but that transition from high school to college was overwhelming. I think if I was into athletics more, I think the transition would have helped me more, especially having some other, high figure guys to help me along the way. So that's awesome that you get that here at CSN. Jackson, let's turn to you. I hear you had an interesting transition from high school to CSN, didn't actually start at high school. It started somewhere else.
Yeah, I'd say my transition from high school to college is a bit more bumpy than them too.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So coming out of high school, I wanted I grew up in Utah, and so I'd always I grew up in Utah, and then once high school started, I moved to Vegas because my mom got a job out here.
Yeah,
and I liked it out here, but like part of me always wanted to go back to Utah because I was home. And so once I graduated college, I was like, I'm able to make this JUCO out there. It's called Salt Lake Community College. And I was like, I'm gonna go out there. So I went out there and it was good, but it just wasn't what I remembered it from before high school.
Yeah.
And I was going through a lot of different changes. Like I first started my first job that semester. I was going through some different relationship stuff. And at some point I was like, I think I gotta go back to my new home, Yeah. So I hit up Coach Astadio. I was like, Coach, I know I kind of brushed you off before, but you still got a roster spot for me? And he was like, yeah, let's get this done. And honestly, that was a great decision. I love everything so much more out here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And when did you decide, what was the time frame as far as when you decided to make that shift from Utah to Nevada? Was it in the middle of the season? Was it beginning of the semester?
It was actually right after the semester ended. I didn't even give it much time.
Nice.
We had just finished like finals and I was visiting here and I was like, what's stopping me from coming back? Like, I feel like I'm so much happy out here. Let's just do this. So I told my parents, I'm like, I gotta come back. I hit up Coach. He's like, let's do it. And I was able to make that quick transition. CSN, like I'll always attribute that we have really great academic advisors.
Yeah.
Because like when I went to Salt Lake Community College, like even as an athlete, I had to figure out my own schedule all on my own. Like, and it was very overwhelming. And then I come here and the day I got here, actually, I got a phone call from academic advisor. She's like, let's get your schedule set up. And just boom, boom, just like that. Immediately I had it done. I had nothing to even worry about.
That's awesome.
Great.
That is awesome. All right. Well, you guys have all had interesting paths here. You guys are still remaining here for another season, which is different from our first guest. Tell me, and I'll start with you. Tell me what goals you have for the upcoming season.
The goal talk, through high school is all about times. And now I'm kind of shifting my view to more being a leader as a captain now. Of course, like times they're a big goal, especially in JUCO, coming out of high school. I mean, you want to be a D1 athlete, you want to transfer to a D1 school. But I think being a leader and setting an example for especially those younger than you or the people coming in, it sets an environment, not even people like to look up to you, but more like if you're friendly with your guys, if you're tight with your guys, you show up every day, that sets a standard, and then everybody's going to want to work together, obviously. So that's one big thing. And then I guess on the running side, I want to bring my guys to nationals again. That's the biggest thing. I'm a really big team guy, so that's one big goal I have. So
I am very sorry for you because you just say it, my key word. I love leadership. That is a thing
absolutely.
that I talk about a lot.
Oh yeah.
Throughout all corners of my life, even if not just podcasting, but even my professional career.
Yeah.
So let's delve into leadership. You went from being a high school student to being a first-year student, and now you're being sprung into this leadership role at CSN.
Yeah.
How was that jump for you? And is Coach preparing you for that, or is it something that just comes natural to you?
I'd say I'm a little more extroverted, so it does come a little more natural to me. I've been told I can get along with almost anyone. I don't really pick a bone with anybody. I love everyone.
Yeah.
So in high school, I was a captain for my high school team at Desert Oasis, and high school it's not as serious, as college or anything else. But I'd say coming to CSN, I'm a big advocate for showing up. And being there for your guys. And in high school, you don't have as much opportunity where it takes like the driving out of your morning or your day. But I've really enjoyed it in college so far. Like showing up to practice, showing up to team things. Like if we're just hanging out, like I'm really big on that. And I think it brings us all together. It just takes one person, and then, the domino effect happens and everything falls into place. So.
It's interesting because people don't usually attribute cross country to team.
Right.
It's really individualized. People, even in gymnastics, just all throughout these athletics, it's really centered around individual goals. But it seems here the running theme for this team has been in the last 2 shows has been teamwork. And so
absolutely.
It's very interesting.
Especially, CSN. Big thing, high school, I thought I would never reach a team that was so special with my ties. With those people. And here, I'll never forget this last team, like how close we were.
That's awesome.
And being that close, it makes everyone friendly, competitive with each other. And, you build off of each other. And it was something I'll never forget. Like I've had the best times with these guys, and I'm very happy I'm coming back for another year. And it's something really special.
That's dope. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Jerry, let's get to you because you said you had goals in high school that you crushed.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have goals this coming season that you want to crush too?
I think I just want to get adapted to cross country because I've never ran cross country before. I've always been a track guy.
Yeah.
And so I just really want to adapt to that higher mileage. The AK is obviously about 5 miles long. I want to be able to have that mental aspect and be able to grip myself through that race,
Did you run track all throughout high school and not cross country at all until you got here? Or did you run a little bit in high school?
I didn't run any cross country at all. And I only started running track my senior year, which was last year.
You didn't run track at all as a person?
Yeah, I didn't run track until my senior year. I didn't run it my junior year, my sophomore year, my freshman year.
Wow. Holy moly. And that transition to track. Yeah.
Yeah.
Track to cross country is nuts. The endurance that you take to do that. What made you make that transition?
What, from
track to cross country?
I just wanted to keep running, and I knew that they competed in distance track.
Yeah.
So I hit up coach one day, and I was just like, you think I would be able to walk onto the team? And, things progressed, and he let me be on the team. But since I walked on a semester late, I didn't get to run cross country. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
So this is the time where you're going to get to do that. That's awesome. Holy moly. All right, Jackson, let's get to you because you had a bumpy transition from high school to year one, but now things are smoothing over. Your expectations increase now that you've had a year under your belt to finally, calm yourself and realize that you're part of a team like CSN.
Oh, 100%. And it goes back to I want to pick back off what Dom said with us being so close. I feel like we're really building a type of culture.
Yeah.
And that makes you want to just be better for everyone around you and just dig deeper for everyone around you. So with me, as well, also being a captain, I also just want to lead everybody and just show up for everyone. And that, dang, I totally lost my train of thought.
That's good. 'Cause I can piggyback off what you said. You just said you're a captain. I didn't know you were going to be a captain as well.
Yeah.
I like leadership. How do you use what you went through your first year to help your younger teammates out this upcoming season?
Just everything that because I've had that struggle, I had to learn different things that are work for me. So even if someone were to have some struggles like I did, I've been through that and I can help people through that. And I really, I like that I can do that for people,
That's awesome. Yeah. Using your trials and tribulations to help others and avoid it is something that I preach to everyone, not just athletics, but life. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah.
awesome stories, awesome goals to reach, awesome goals that were broken as well. So that's pretty cool. So thank you for joining us. When we get back, we have another set of athletes. We're not done yet. Next on CSN. Welcome back to CSN's recap. Joined by 3 new athletes. These are incoming freshmen from high school. Allow you guys to introduce yourselves. Starting with you.
I'm Sienna, and I came from Liberty High School.
Awesome.
I'm Maurice, and I'm from Rancho High School.
And then I'm Jaden. I came from DL, Desert Oasis.
That's nice.
A lot of people don't know what DO is. It's
The Desert Oasis. All right, cool. So you guys all came from Nevada. You guys are all familiar with CSN. So you guys have a better idea than most what the CSN's like. I'll ask you, how CSN? Why CSN?
I chose CSN because, well, I've been talking to Coach for a minute, and he kind of saw me when I was a freshman, so it's always been in the back of my mind. But honestly, like where the money's at, like I did get a full ride, so that I was really like blessed to have that, and it's in town, so I just thought I can get my times down for the 2 years, and then hopefully like transfer out.
Yeah, I mean, people don't really
And
mention
JUCO's
it.
big now,
Yeah.
like so it's nice. Yeah,
JUCO is big,
Yeah.
and JUCO is cheaper, and
Yes.
it's very cost effective
Mhm.
for families looking to get their kids into school without having to fork over $100,000
Mhm.
every 2 or 3 years to get their kids in school. So that's awesome.
No, yeah, I agree.
All right, yeah, Reese.
Coach started talking to me about the beginning of my senior year, and I wasn't going to go to CSN, but again, it was more cost effective, and I want to get all like my prereqs out of the way, and I just want to be a better runner. Like I'm not interested that much in going further after this, but it's just like I just want to improve while I'm here.
So you said you weren't really interested in going at first. What changed your mind? Was it coach? Was it other factors? I think you mentioned cost effectiveness being the primary reason, but were there outside factors as well?
I do enjoy running, and I enjoy like being part of a team and like staying in shape that way. So yeah, that's basically why. And I also like am excited to stay with family for a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's a big reason for a lot of people. All right, Jaden, what about you?
Pretty much coach started talking to me about the end of my junior year, and I was already thinking of going to CSN because I already a good amount of the people here. Like one of my old teammates, he went here right after he graduated.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's perfect. I already know some people there. I'm going to be comfortable in there. And plus, I also wanted to get my times a bit faster before I go to a 4-year university. Because realistically, I could go to somewhere pretty nice, but it's just I really would like to go a lot cheaper. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about those goals of yours because you mentioned you want to improve your times. What time improvements are you really looking at here?
So currently I'd love to go sub 15. That's the very first one. And then probably, close to 1430s or so.
Ooh.
That'd be great to do. And then in other things, probably the 8K, because, we're also going to be doing that for other schools. I'd love to run something pretty fast, 22s, something like that.
Is that your goal for the first year or just your time in CSN total?
Really the time at CSN.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Possible, very, very possible with coach's help. All right, Reese, what about you?
My time goals are kind of I just want to go sub 20. If I can get closer to mid 19s, I would be very happy with that.
That's awesome. Coach does a really good job of preparing you. So
Mhm.
if you tell him your goals, it looks like he's very good at helping you get there. Just doing the work and getting ready.
Mhm.
Sienna, yourself?
Yeah, I've asked Coach a lot about other people's times, and they drop a lot. So I'm looking to drop a lot of time. I hope I'm around the 18s from a CSN. I just want to keep on getting better, honestly, how far I can go. That's my goal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm very interested really about how he prepares the athletes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nuts the way he's able to
Mhm.
drop times like that, especially for the athletes that are really gearing towards it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost insane, that transition. I have you talked to other athletes that have been to CSN or currently in CSN about the rigors, the training that takes place and how it differs from what you experienced in high school?
Not too in depth about it, but I definitely have a talk. I've talked to people about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah," or even she's the assistant coach now. I think Ashley, her name is. She was telling me about her times and how much she dropped, and I think I was talking about it today with him at practice actually about how the drops of other people's times. But also for me, I've never even done the 6K because that's what the women run in D1, right? 6Ks. Yeah. So I don't know how that'll be my first time too. He's gonna be starting fresh with me for that one. I've never really done that for a race.
Yeah.
But so that'll be cool.
You talked about it, Reese, about getting in shape, staying in shape, and hey, distance running is the way to go if you want to stay in shape because you're running a lot. Did you run a lot in high school? What were your times like running in high school? And have you talked to coach about how much more you'll be running your first year at CSN?
I won't be running more. My coach had me doing a lot of mileage, but throughout high school, I improved a lot. Freshman year, I started out like a 34, 36 and got myself down to high 20s. So I'm proud of that. And I'm excited for like the training he has us doing because I think like I trust him and have seen it work in other people. So I'm just excited for the opportunity to like follow his training plan and get better.
Yeah, I trust me. Stick with that plan. Whatever he's doing, it's working. Jaden, what about yourself?
So for my times, like in high school, I ran a 15:37 during cross country, and then during the track season, when we weren't really like focused on like 5K training, I ran a 15:32. So I think like if I do like a whole lot more like 5K training for when the track season is around, I'll definitely go under 15 like this first year easily. And then, I'm just really excited to improve on these times for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I promise you, when we come back here next year, your times will have dropped. How much remains to be seen, but I'm pretty sure it's going to drop dramatically. That's pretty awesome. Okay, well, you guys are student athletes, student firsts. Any interest in majors? I'll start with you, Sienna.
Yeah, so I wanted to, at first, I was like, oh, I'm going to go the business route. And not just to take the easy way out, but I actually like would think I would be good in like business or I want to own a business or something. I'm looking right now to do, I'm doing like business law courses because I want to go into law school and I want to be a lawyer. So now that's like a whole different direction, honestly. But I think it'd be really cool. And even if like my major's business, like that's good to have in my back pocket for being a lawyer too. So.
Yeah, business is not easy. My buddy of mine just got his MBA. I'm looking at getting my MBA as well. It's treacherous, and hopefully CSN helps prepare you for that transition because it's not as easy as you think.
Yeah, and my mom, she also like I look up to her the most, and she's like doing that, and she even did like some courses that I'm going to be doing in the future. So I think I'll be good.
That's awesome. Reese, what about you?
I'm looking to get my associates in science. I would like to have a career in the medical field, so finish my bachelor's in a science, med school, and hopefully to be a trauma surgeon.
That's awesome.
Ooh, trauma surgeon.
Wow,
Yeah.
lofty goals. I'm a pharmacist myself. I got my doctorate degree. It is not easy, but I echo this a lot. I wish I'd gone the JUCO route, went ahead and got that done. My credits transfer over, cheaper option, less loans, less bills. Price of education is only going higher. So that transition you're trying to make and that, ladder you're trying to climb is way easier if you go this route first.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna pay for med school. I have to pay for med school too, so I might as well just get at least 2 years.
Yeah,
1 to 2 years.
Smart. I promise you, smartest decision you'll make. Jaden, what about yourself?
I was planning on getting an associate's degree in computer science. I wanted to go into IT once I'm out of college. And then so hopefully, right after CSN, I go to another school, go get a master's degree in computer science too.
Yeah, I'll echo it. Same with you. It's way cheaper to do it this way. The certificates are what's most important for that, and making sure you're having that bachelor's to be able to get, your master's is important, and this is the associate's is the route to go. I'm telling you. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys for joining me.
Thank you.
You guys
Thank you.
Set up for success.
Yeah.
Thank you for choosing CSN. It's not a decision that's an easy one, but it's the right one, I promise you. All right, when we come back, we'll have 2 special guests, not necessarily CSN related, but definitely connected in a big way. We'll touch on it next on CSN. Welcome back. We are here at CSN's recap of the season. 2 special guests. We got with us Mike, who is the head of Titan Athletes, and Keenan from Desert Oasis. I'll have them introduce themselves. I'll start with you, Mike.
I'm Mike Smith. I run Titan Athletes, and I'm also the head coach of Shadow Ridge High School.
Awesome.
I'm Keenan Daggy. I went to Desert Oasis where I set 5 school records.
5 school records. That's way more than 0. We'll talk about that. You went to Desert Oasis with Jaden.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit more about the record you broke.
Okay. Well, it started off with my junior year where I broke the cross-country 5K school record while I was still ineligible because I transferred and stuff. Yeah. And then later on, I broke the 5K on the track. If you count that as 2 separate records, they do in the website. Yeah. And then the 800 mile and 2 mile.
Well, you did all your junior year?
No, that was later on my senior year. My bad. I should clarify it. The other 4 were all in my senior year. I also rebroke the cross country 5K my senior year.
So you broke your own record.
Yeah, I guess you could. It's just a PR. It isn't. It's not as cool as it sounds.
I mean, it's
pretty cool.
It's pretty dope. All right, yeah. So CSN, we're definitely inclusive. We like to include everyone. You're not going to CSN, but you're a part of the Nevada system, and Coach definitely does a good job of including not only athletes, but also trainers who are out there trying their best, and high school coaches as well who are trying their best to get these guys prepared for life after high school. I'll start with you, Keenan. Where are you going?
I'm going to Georgetown University in Washington, D.C.
Awesome. Are you excited about it?
Absolutely. I'm so excited.
That's awesome. When do you start?
Well, I have this thing called the Community Scholars Program, so I leave on July 2nd.
July 2nd, okay. Are you ready for that transition, that trek?
I'm trying to mentally prepare for it. I think I'm ready.
Yeah. I myself come from the East Coast, near DC, 45 minutes away, so that's quite the jet lag you'll be experiencing. I'm sure you'll want to visit home very often, so it should be awesome for yourself to look forward to. Let's talk about yourself with CSN. I know you're being a Nevada athlete. I'm sure you heard of CSN. Have you heard anything regarding the process for recruitment? Were they interested in you at first? I'm sure you have lofty goals at Georgetown, but I'm sure CSN was still talked about in some capacity at Desert Oasis.
Yeah. See, the coach reached out to me at some point, and it was at that point is when the universities came through. So I respectfully was like, I have different paths, but CSN's still probably one of the best programs you can go to. I can think of I've seen them transform athletes into beasts from low 17, 16 5Ks to 15s. I could clarify Dom, for example, my former teammate. He was a 16-minute 5K runner, and then during the AK, he was insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. How has Nevada treated you, the state of Nevada, considering you've broken all these records? I told you before the cameras rolled I was going to be very, bodacious with your accomplishments. How has the state of Nevada treated you? Were there any I would say, special treatments that you got from different people because of your success? I mean, you're a rock star, at least in the cross-country landscape here in Nevada.
Yeah, I guess so. There was definitely some special treatment there, especially from other athletes and stuff. And yeah, the state of Nevada was so well to me. I love everyone in it, especially the boys up north too. It's just one big community, and I love it a lot. So
how about the Raiders? I won't put you on the spot. The Raiders, you're wearing that jersey right now. The Raiders talked to you a little bit. Ashton Genty, kind of a rock star himself.
I wish. I'd love to hear from anyone on the Raiders. I wish.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, well, Mike, I'll talk to you a little bit because you train a lot of these guys, get them ready for the program. You have experience. You work at Shadow Ridge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about that.
So beginning, I started about this will be my 3rd season now training CSN. A lot of it's been the off season in the summer, working on getting them stronger. And then we're going to transition this year into doing some stuff throughout the season to help out with it. My biggest thing with them and with training anybody, any of the athletes, especially runners, is trying to keep the longevity going on top of making them faster. So we work a lot on technique through their lifts, but also technique on their running form. And then longevity along the lines of trying to keep them injured so hopefully they can last longer throughout the season without those nuisances.
Yes, strength and conditioning is very important for athletes. I mean, I don't want to talk too much about professional sports, but I mean, a lot of these teams are struggling in that capacity. I feel like
no comment.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I mean, you and the students obviously at CSN have improved their times dramatically, and I think you have a little bit something to do with it. Would you say so?
I would say a little bit, right? Yeah. I mean, there's got to definitely be a relationship amongst athletes on their training and with their coaches, and I do my best to try to maintain that contact consistently. And try not to cross over any toes, especially if I'm training runners from other schools. I'm trying to make sure hey, coach, I'm not going to be doing this, or if it's okay, can I do this with them, right? And so it definitely is a well-balanced machine in order to make better athletes.
That's awesome. Keenan, I'll turn it over to you again because you're training as well. Do you have a relationship with the trainer? Do you work with the school you're going to make sure that there's a cohesiveness to that, or is it more just let's get you ready for Georgetown. Don't talk to anybody until you get to DC.
I mean, during my season, I was kind of on and off. There's another trainer called Eric Klein. He's up on Canyon Lake, and I used to work with him pretty consistently before the season started and stuff. Yeah. And then now that the summer's kicking off, I'm gonna be working with him again to help smoothly transition into Georgetown training.
Yeah, and you mentioned longevity. I feel like running too much can be very hampering to your longevity. Is that something that you take a look at? Do you watch how much they're running on a weekly basis, Mike? And
I don't try, once again, I don't try to step on any coach's toes when they are giving their programs, right? But every athlete's different, right? I mean, you could have athletes that run the exact same time, right? And one of them's training 30 miles a week and the other one's getting 60 miles a week, right? And it's just depending on like how their body is able to handle that demand, right? And sometimes less is more for certain athletes. And so in a sense of like strength training, right, we do take that into consideration and the time of season as well, because it's not always about pushing the heavy weights, right? It's about doing things correctly, the right mechanics and so forth.
How long have you been training long distance runners? Has it been a lot of years? Is it something you just got into? Have you progressed?
So,
trial and error type of deal?
Man, this is a funny question because everything with sports, right, is and like I treat it as like science based. You know, when we talk about running technique, when we talk about, you know, a jumper and pole vault, when we talk about a hurdler, right, everything is like scientifically based on how I like design programs. And so I started coaching, you know, Shadow Ridge specifically. This is like now my 6th year. And I've been coaching mid distance, mainly 400 and 800 runners, but I also dabble in like with the sprinters, with the 200 and then like the milers and the 2 milers as well. And so in a sense of like their training, right, it can definitely vary depending on who they are specifically. And once again, on like how like they are, you know, getting their miles. And so it's definitely a hard thing, but more specifically, I try to do it on a like scientifically based status.
That's awesome. That makes a lot of sense. Keenan, I'll turn it over to you again. You're heading over to Georgetown. It's a big accomplishment for yourself. What are your goals? I mean, I want to hear these goals because I want to see if it differs from any others. It seems like it's pretty standard across the board as far as what they want to do. I want to get your thoughts about yours.
Ooh, that's rough. So at the D1 level at nationals, we run a 10K. So I'm more focused on the 10K instead of the 8K because, you know, I care more about nationals and stuff.
Right.
So for the 10K, I'd like to break 30.
Oh.
Like to get under 30 minutes. And moving on to other distance, to the 5K, I'd like to break 14, maybe get under 13:50. The 3K, it's a little ambitious, but I'd like to break 8. And in the mile, I'd like to break 4. Those are like my 2 hard-hitting goals.
And this is for your 4-year tenure at Georgetown.
Oh, no, this is my freshman year.
Ooh,
This is just the freshman year goals.
Those times are doable.
Yeah,
times
I think they're doable. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you think that he's going to crush it?
I mean, the training, hopefully, right, is only going to get better, right? That's what we're always hoping when athletes go to different levels. And so he's already been training very, very well. And we see his times on how dramatically they've changed already, right? And so now just having another season, right, on top of it with coaches that are more knowledgeable and strength training that's better, right, and the recovery system. So definitely going to make those times.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. I look forward to seeing it. You got a fan in me now.
Okay.
I've been watching you very closely. I appreciate you guys for joining us. CSN, last episode for the season. I'm sure we'll come back next season and talk to other athletes, and I'm pretty sure we'll have you back on, and then we'll try and drag you from DC to get you back on.
I'm down.
How you doing? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.